Carl Jung, the profound explorer of the human psyche, unveiled a psychological pattern far more profound than mere empathy. It was a revelation about the pivotal moment when an empath, after years of pouring their energy into others, finally chooses to reclaim their own soul. This profound act of self-selection, Jung observed, either sparks the magnificent journey of authentic individuation, becoming truly oneself, or starkly exposes the deep-seated psychological patterns that a lifetime of endless accommodation had so cunningly concealed. It's a moment of truth, a reckoning with the self, a brave step towards reclaiming one's own North Star. In his groundbreaking work on individuation and psychological types, Jung meticulously documented what we might call the self-choice crisis. This is a profound turning point where highly sensitive individuals, often gifted with a dominant feeling function, spend years, sometimes decades, prioritizing the needs and desires of others over their own authentic growth and development. Then, a critical juncture arrives, an undeniable calling that demands a choice: either continue down the path of self-abandonment, slowly fading into the background of their own life, or courageously reclaim their unique individual path, their destiny. It's the whisper of the soul demanding to be heard. Jung found this pattern truly disturbing, because these empathic individuals possessed what he described as remarkably overdeveloped auxiliary functions, capacities that exquisitely served others, yet tragically neglected the self. When they finally summoned the inner strength to choose themselves, to honor their own needs, establish sacred boundaries, and express their authentic truth, a gradual adjustment was rarely the case. Instead, they underwent what Jung termed individuation acceleration. This intense period either unveiled their astonishing capacity for psychological wholeness, a deep wellspring of resilience and self-awareness, or it laid bare the profound depth of self-abandonment they had been living, a silent sacrifice that demanded recognition. It was as if a hidden spring suddenly burst forth, revealing either fertile ground or parched earth. What made this discovery so immensely significant to Jung was his realization that this choice represented nothing less than a crucial turning point in human psychological development. It was the moment when lifelong patterns of accommodation either consciously transform into robust, healthy boundaries, becoming deliberate acts of giving, or they dramatically collapse, forcing a painful but necessary recognition of just how much of the authentic self had been sacrificed on the altar of others' needs. This is not merely a personal decision, it's an evolutionary leap. Today, we delve deeper into Jung's extraordinary insights about what truly happens when the empath finally chooses themselves. We'll explore why he believed this decision doesn't just catalyze genuine individuation, but often exposes the insidious patterns of self-betrayal that relentless people-pleasing had been concealing all along. Jung's breakthrough often came through observing patients, one in particular, a woman of extraordinary sensitivity who had spent decades meticulously accommodating everyone around her, while tragically ignoring her own deepest psychological needs. After years of profound therapeutic exploration of these entrenched patterns, the patient made what Jung simply called the choice. For the very first time, she prioritized her own psychological well-being over the comfort or expectations of others. Within weeks, Jung witnessed something unprecedented, a psychological metamorphosis unfolding before his eyes. The patient's previously helpful, endlessly accommodating persona began to dissolve, like a mist clearing to reveal a stunning landscape. Authentic personality aspects, suppressed for decades, began to emerge, vibrant and undeniable. Jung meticulously documented this as a true psychological metamorphosis. Much like a magnificent butterfly emerging from a cocoon it had mistakenly believed was its permanent form, the patient began expressing long-buried needs, setting clear boundaries, and passionately pursuing abandoned interests. Yet, This profound personal transformation triggered a relationship system collapse. Family members, accustomed to an endless supply of accommodation, reacted with a torrent of guilt trips, accusations of selfishness, and palpable resentment when their wellspring suddenly dried up. Jung realized this was far more than just personal change. It was a stark revelation of how many relationships unwittingly depend on one person's willingness to abandon themselves for the sake of another. The patient's courageous choice exposed the often exploitative, albeit unconscious, nature of connections she had previously considered loving and supportive. What disturbed Jung most was the eerie predictability of it all. He could almost forecast exactly how different family members would react to losing their accommodating supply source, revealing the unconscious contracts that had quietly governed these relationships. This pivotal case profoundly illustrated to Jung that choosing oneself, while liberating, often means discovering which relationships were genuinely based on mutual care, respect, and love, versus those that implicitly demanded self-abandonment as the steep price of acceptance. It's a painful clarity, but a necessary one for true freedom. Jung discovered that empathic individuals frequently develop what we might call a psychological imbalance syndrome. They overdevelop their feeling function to an extraordinary degree, serving others with boundless energy, while simultaneously neglecting their own authentic emotional needs and personal development. Jung identified three core components of this intricate system. First, the external validation architecture, These individuals gradually lose connection to their own intrinsic values, preferences, and boundaries because their entire sense of self-worth becomes tragically dependent on the approval and affirmation of others. Their psychological type becomes distorted. They become exquisitely skilled at reading others, anticipating their needs, yet remain profound strangers to themselves, lost in an echo chamber of external validation. Second, the shadow accumulation pressure, Jung documented that suppressed needs, desires, and authentic expressions don't simply vanish. They accumulate as what he termed shadow reserves. Their genuine desires, their rightful boundaries, and a healthy, essential self-regard become unconscious, creating an immense internal pressure that often manifests as debilitating depression, chronic anxiety, or even unexplained physical symptoms. It's the soul's silent cry for attention. Third, the compensatory individuation trigger, When empaths finally choose themselves, Jung observed a rapid, often intense rebalancing within the psyche. The entire internal system attempts to restore equilibrium by bringing years of suppressed personality aspects into consciousness simultaneously. Jung realized this explains why choosing themselves feels so profoundly threatening. They have been conditioned, often since childhood, to believe their worth, their very identity, depends on self-sacrifice. So, prioritizing their own needs triggers deep-seated abandonment fears and overwhelming guilt about being selfish. When this powerful system activates, empaths embark on a thrilling journey of self-discovery, unearthing aspects of themselves they had forgotten even existed. It's often an experience Jung called personality archaeology, a magnificent uncovering of buried parts of their authentic nature, like finding hidden treasures within their own being. Yet, this path to self-reclamation is often fraught with peril, particularly due to what we might term the guilt weapon that destroys them. Jung identified why choosing themselves is often psychologically devastating for empaths. They experience what can be called an empathic guilt complex, so potent it can completely derail their individuation process. Jung observed three distinct guilt patterns that emerge when empaths courageously prioritize themselves. 1. Betrayal guilt, They feel an overwhelming sense that they are abandoning people who depend on them. Their newfound boundaries feel like cruelty, their self-care like selfishness, and their authentic expression like causing harm to others. This is the weight of perceived disloyalty. 2. Identity. Guilt. Since their very sense of self was meticulously built around accommodation and service, choosing themselves feels like morphing into a completely different person, triggering profound fears of losing their essential nature, their core identity. Who am I if I'm not helping? They silently ask. 3. Worthiness guilt. Years of conditioning have taught them that their value lies solely in their usefulness to others. So, self-prioritization feels like claiming something they haven't earned, a deep-seated belief that they are not worthy of their own attention or care. Jung documented that this powerful guilt complex often forces empaths back into familiar self-abandonment patterns because the psychological discomfort feels unbearable. They tragically mistake guilt for conscience and accommodation for genuine love, trapping themselves in a cycle of depletion. Most disturbing to Jung was how others, often unconsciously, weaponize this guilt. When empaths begin setting boundaries, people who have long benefited from their accommodation often escalate guilt tactics, using emotionally charged phrases like, "You've changed," or "You're becoming selfish," to manipulate them back into self-sacrifice. Jung emphasized that overcoming this pervasive guilt requires a profound recognition. Self-abandonment isn't virtuous, it's inherently harmful, both to the empath and to the very people whose growth they prevent by enabling dependency. It's a courageous act to break free from this insidious cycle. If you have ever felt that sting of guilt for finally putting yourself first, comment below, "My worth isn't measured by my usefulness." This declaration is a powerful step towards liberation. Jung identified 4 distinct transformation pathways that empaths often follow when choosing themselves, each representing different, yet equally valid, outcomes of this profound psychological transition. 1. The gradual boundary builder. These empaths experience an incremental awakening, slowly recognizing their self-abandonment patterns and making small, manageable changes over time. Jung noted they often maintain more existing relationships because the changes feel less threatening, yet they also face persistent, subtle pressure from people hoping this phase will eventually pass. Their key breakthrough is developing conscious accommodation. They learn to choose times when and how to help, rather than automatically sacrificing themselves, creating healthier dynamics while beautifully maintaining their empathic nature. It's a gentle but firm resculpting of their energetic landscape. 2. The crisis catalyst. Jung identified empaths who experience dramatic, often sudden, shifts triggered by specific life events that force them to choose between continued self-abandonment or psychological survival. They undergo a persona collapse, a sudden dissolution of their people-pleasing identity when accommodation simply becomes unsustainable. Crisis catalysts face more immediate relationship upheaval, but often achieve a more complete and radical transformation, because the sheer drama of the change makes returning to previous patterns virtually impossible without a conscious, deliberate choice. This path is often a phoenix rising from the ashes. 3. The boundary specialist. These empaths focus intensely on developing what Jung called psychological boundary mastery. They become exquisitely skilled at distinguishing between their own emotions and others, their needs and others' expectations, their values and others' projections. They become masters of empathic discernment, maintaining their profound sensitivity while fiercely protecting their psychological integrity. They learn to feel others' emotions without absorbing them, to offer support without self-sacrifice. They are the wise guardians of their own inner space. 4. The authentic integrator. Jung's most successful and inspiring category represents empaths who develop genuine, empathic strength, being fully and vibrantly themselves while maintaining deep, meaningful emotional connections. They honor both their empathic nature and their individual needs simultaneously, weaving them into a rich tapestry of being. These empaths often report feeling more times empathic than ever before, precisely because they are no longer depleted by unconscious self-sacrifice. Their emotional availability becomes renewable, protected by wisdom and conscious choice, rather than driven by an exhausting compulsion. They embody the true power of integrated empathy. Yet, this transformative journey is not without its dangerous transition risks. Jung identified specific psychological dangers that make choosing oneself one of the most challenging, yet ultimately rewarding, aspects of human development. 1. Identity dissolution terror. Jung observed that empaths often experience an ego structure collapse when they stop defining themselves solely through service to others. Since their entire identity was accommodation-based, choosing themselves triggers an existential panic about who they are without their familiar self-sacrificing roles. This crisis can be so severe that some, overwhelmed by the discomfort of psychological growth, tragically return to self-abandonment, convincing themselves they are naturally selfish when they prioritize their well-being. It's the fear of the unknown, a void before the new self can form. 2. Social system. Earthquake. Jung documented patterns of relationship devastation when empaths stop accommodating. People who relied on their endless availability often respond with manipulation, guilt trips, or complete rejection, rather than adjusting to healthier, more reciprocal dynamics. Jung noted that empaths often lose significant relationships during this transition, not because they become cruel, but because many connections were, at their core, based on exploitation rather than genuine care. It's the shattering of false bonds. 3. Guilt, overwhelm, and paralysis. The empathic guilt complex can become so intense it disrupts psychological functioning entirely. Jung documented cases where empaths experienced moral injury, feeling they had violated their core values by simply setting boundaries. Without proper support, this overwhelming guilt can lead empaths back to self-abandonment or trigger severe psychological symptoms like anxiety and depression. It's the inner torment of perceived wrongdoing. 4. Overcorrection. Extremes. Jung warned about empaths swinging from complete self-abandonment to defensive selfishness, becoming so focused on protection that they lose their precious empathic nature entirely. This overcorrection often stems from unprocessed anger about past exploitation. While natural and healthy to feel anger, if it becomes the sole driving force behind all decisions, empaths risk losing the sensitivity that was always a beautiful, authentic part of their nature. It's like building a fortress so strong that it keeps out the light as well as the dark. Jung, ever the pioneer, developed systematic approaches for empaths to choose themselves while magnificently maintaining their empathic gifts and developing healthy, sustainable relationship patterns. This is his empathic individuation method. 1. Shadow integration protocol. Jung insisted that empaths must courageously recognize and reclaim their disowned self-aspects, the personality parts they had suppressed to maintain their accommodating persona. This includes healthy selfishness, legitimate anger, personal desires, and authentic boundaries. Jung created specific practices, documenting moments of self-suppression for others' comfort, identifying childhood conditioning that equated worth with usefulness, and practicing authentic expression in low-stakes situations to build confidence. Jung emphasized that shadow integration doesn't mean becoming selfish, but recognizing that healthy self-care ultimately serves everyone's interests. Empaths who ignore their own needs become depleted and resentful, ironically reducing their capacity for genuine, sustainable empathy. 2. Conscious boundary architecture. Jung taught empaths to distinguish with precision between empathy and absorption, helping and enabling compassion and codependency through what he called empathic discernment training. Specific protocols include learning to decline requests gracefully without extensive justification, recognizing subtle guilt-based manipulation tactics, and developing filters that allow genuine connection while preventing psychological exploitation. Jung emphasized that boundaries aren't rigid walls, but selective, permeable membranes. They enhance empathy by preventing the depletion that inevitably leads to emotional shutdown, allowing the wellspring of compassion to remain vibrant. 3. Authentic voice recovery. Jung recognized that empaths need systematic practice, expressing their genuine thoughts, feelings, and needs after years of suppression. This involves a beautiful process of reconnecting with personal preferences, values, and desires that accommodation had silenced. Recommended practices include regular self-reflection to identify authentic feelings, creative expression as a powerful pathway to unconscious material, and gradually sharing genuine opinions in safe, supportive relationships to rebuild confidence. It's about finding and cherishing the unique melody of one's own soul. 4. Relationship reconstruction standards. Jung emphasized building connections based on mutual respect and emotional reciprocity, rather than one-sided accommodation. This requires a courageous relationship auditing, evaluating current connections for patterns of exploitation versus genuine care. Jung developed clear criteria for healthy relationships: mutual emotional support, boundary respect, appreciation without the expectation of endless availability, and encouragement of individual growth rather than demands for continued accommodation. It's about cultivating gardens where all plants can flourish. Jung's extensive analysis reveals crucial patterns, distinguishing successful empathic individuation from destructive overcorrection. Let's look at some inspiring success models. Carl Rogers, Jung would have undoubtedly recognized Rogers as an empath who brilliantly chose himself while paradoxically enhancing his empathic gifts. Rogers developed professional empathy, feeling deeply for clients while rigorously maintaining therapeutic boundaries, protecting both parties. Rogers' breakthrough was understanding that unlimited, unchecked emotional availability ultimately destroys both helper and helped alike. He channeled his empathic nature through structured, bounded contexts where sensitivity served healing rather than enabling dependency. Jung's analysis emphasizes that Rogers never abandoned empathy. He learned to protect and direct it consciously, proving that choosing oneself can magnify rather than diminish genuine empathic capacity. Eleanor Roosevelt. Roosevelt's remarkable transformation from an accommodating wife to an independent, influential leader brilliantly demonstrates successful empathic individuation. She learned to channel her profound sensitivity towards social justice and global healing rather than personal accommodation, finding outlets that honored her empathy without requiring self-destruction. Roosevelt's evolution shows how empaths can redirect their powerful gifts toward collective betterment while maintaining strong personal boundaries, demonstrating that empathy and self-respect are not opposites but powerfully enhance each other. Conversely, Jung also documented failure patterns to learn from. The defensive shutdown. Empaths who swing from accommodation to complete emotional unavailability, developing empathy phobia, a fear that any sensitivity will lead back to exploitation. While this protects from further harm, it tragically cuts them off from essential personality aspects. These individuals often report feeling empty, having rejected their empathic nature along with harmful accommodation patterns. They build walls so high, they become prisoners within. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The guilt recycler. Asterisk, asterisk. Empaths who cycle endlessly between attempted boundary setting and accommodation when psychological discomfort or external pressure overwhelms them. Each cycle tragically reinforces their belief that self-prioritization equals selfishness. These patterns persist when empaths lack adequate support and mistake empathic guilt for moral conscience rather than recognizing it as deeply conditioned fear. They are caught in a looping narrative of self-betrayal. Jung's analysis revealed several critical success elements for this transformative journey: robust support systems during transition, a clear understanding that empathy and boundaries can beautifully coexist, gradual practice rather than dramatic, unsustainable swings, and the profound recognition that healthy relationships naturally improve when both parties genuinely respect boundaries. Jung recognized that empaths need specific, conscious strategies to maintain healthy relationships while honoring their unwavering commitment to self-prioritization. This involves building empathy through protective communities. 1. Asterisk, asterisk, healthy relationship recognition. Asterisk, asterisk. Jung identified characteristics indicating someone can truly handle individuated empaths. They appreciate empathy without exploiting it, maintain emotional self-regulation rather than depending on others for constant support, respect boundaries without taking them personally, and demonstrate reciprocal empathy, a genuine concern for the empath's well-being. Healthy individuals actively encourage empathic boundary development rather than pressuring a return to accommodation, seeing empathic self-care as positive growth rather than a threatening withdrawal. These are the anchors in the storm. 2. Asterisk, asterisk, empathy honoring communities. Asterisk, asterisk. Jung recommended actively seeking relationships with people who deeply understand that empathy requires protection to remain sustainable. This includes other individuals who have learned to balance sensitivity with boundaries, those engaged in conscious personal development who genuinely appreciate psychological growth, and secure people who do not require others' self-sacrifice to feel loved. Jung emphasized finding communities where sensitivity is valued but not exploited. Emotional intelligence is appreciated but not expected to be unlimited, and personal growth is encouraged rather than seen as a relationship threat. These are the safe harbors where the soul can truly rest and thrive. 3. Asterisk, asterisk, predator recognition protocols. Asterisk, asterisk. Jung issued a stern warning about individuals who specifically target empathic people for exploitation. Warning signs include sharing dramatic personal stories early on to trigger rescue responses, consistently violating boundaries while feigning ignorance, reacting to empathic limits with guilt trips or anger, and demonstrating selective empathy, showing concern only when it serves their own needs. Jung noted predators often use phrases like, "You're the only one who understands me," to create a false sense of specialness that hooks empathic individuals into exploitative dynamics. This discernment is not cynicism, it is wisdom. 4. Asterisk, asterisk. Relationship evolution strategies. Asterisk, asterisk. Jung developed practical approaches for rebuilding connections after choosing self-prioritization. These include clear, compassionate communication about the changes being made, consistent boundary maintenance despite resistance, education about the vital differences between empathy and enabling, and finally, relationship graduation, bravely evaluating whether connections can truly evolve to include mutual respect and genuine reciprocity. Sometimes a loving farewell is the most respectful path for all. Jung meticulously documented predictable psychological changes when empaths choose themselves, representing authentic development rather than personality defects. This is the magnificent Complete transformation journey. 1. *** recognition shock phase. ***. Empaths begin to recognize their ingrained accommodation patterns and their profound psychological cost. They often experience pattern shock, a stark realization of how extensively they had abandoned themselves. Jung noted that healthy grief for the lost self is common here, mourning authentic personality aspects suppressed for years. It's the awakening to a deeper truth. 2. *** boundary experimentation stage. *** Empaths courageously practice small acts of self-prioritization to build confidence, declining unreasonable requests, expressing genuine opinions, taking personal time without guilt. This stage often triggers strong reactions from people accustomed to unlimited availability, creating friction, but also strengthening the empath's resolve. It's the first tentative steps of a newborn self. 3. *** authentic integration period. *** Jung identified this as the period when empaths truly learn to honor both their empathic nature and their individual needs simultaneously. They develop conscious empathy, choosing when to engage empathically rather than reacting automatically to others' emotional states. Empaths often report feeling more like themselves than ever before, expressing previously suppressed personality aspects while maintaining their beautiful natural sensitivity. It's the harmonious fusion of heart and self. 4. *** relationship revolution era. *** individuated empaths begin to attract different relationships, people who appreciate their authenticity rather than exploiting their accommodation. Old connections either evolve to include mutual respect or naturally fade as dynamics change, making space for more fulfilling bonds. Jung documented empaths becoming inadvertent teachers, showing through their very example that empathy and self-respect can powerfully coexist, that boundaries enhance rather than diminish genuine connection. It's the blossoming of true connection. 5. *** empathic mastery achievement. Jung's final inspiring stage represents empaths who have fully integrated sensitivity with healthy self-prioritization. They engage deeply without losing themselves, offer support without enabling dependency, and maintain emotional availability without depletion. These empaths often find profound purpose in helping others develop similar skills, transforming their personal journeys into a magnificent service, honoring both empathy and individuation. They become lighthouses for others. If you have discovered forgotten parts of yourself, comment below, "I'm finally becoming who I was meant to be." Jung also identified specific dangers that can derail empaths during transformation, offering wisdom on roadblocks and solutions. 1. *** the extreme swing trap. Jung warned about empaths moving from complete accommodation to defensive hardness, becoming so protection-focused they lose their empathic gifts entirely. This stems from unprocessed anger about exploitation. Jung's solution involved graduated empathy, slowly reintroducing empathic engagement in safe contexts, rather than swinging between absorption extremes and complete emotional shutdown. It's a gentle re-entry into connection. 2. *** the guilt relapse cycle. Many empaths return to accommodation when self-prioritization guilt becomes overwhelming, creating cycles of attempted boundary setting followed by guilt-driven self-sacrifice returns. Jung addressed this through guilt tolerance development, understanding that feeling times guilty about self-care doesn't make self-care wrong, but indicates how deeply conditioned the empath was to prioritize others over themselves. It's learning to sit with discomfort for a greater good. 3. *** the isolation overreaction. Jung warned about empaths withdrawing from all connection rather than learning boundaried relationships. While solitude aids self-discovery, complete isolation prevents developing healthy relationship skills. Jung recommended selective engagement, maintaining connections with emotionally healthy individuals while setting boundaries with exploitative people rather than avoiding all relationships. It's about discerning, not disappearing. 4. Asterisk, asterisk. The surface change deception. Asterisk, asterisk. Jung identified empaths adopting boundary language without addressing underlying accommodation patterns. They set surface limits while continuing to prioritize others' emotional comfort over authentic expression. Jung emphasized that authentic transformation includes profound internal changes in one's self-relationship, not just external management of others' demands. It's a transformation from the inside out. Jung believed that empaths choosing themselves serves crucial functions in collective psychological development, powerfully modeling healthier relationship dynamics and bravely challenging the cultural exploitation of sensitivity. This is their cultural impact. 1. Asterisk, asterisk. Collective emotional labor. Asterisk, asterisk. Jung observed empathic individuals often carry a disproportionate amount of collective emotional labor, absorbing psychological material others refuse to face. When empaths bravely stop performing this function, it forces communities toward greater emotional maturity and accountability. 2. Asterisk, asterisk. Relationship evolution modeling. Asterisk, asterisk. Individuated empaths demonstrate that sensitivity and strength beautifully coexist, challenging deeply ingrained beliefs that empathy requires self-sacrifice. Their example gives others permission to honor their empathic nature while maintaining boundaries. Communities with individuated empaths develop higher emotional intelligence standards because empaths no longer enable others' emotional immaturity through endless accommodation. They become living blueprints for a better way. 3. Asterisk, asterisk. Social system transformation. Asterisk, asterisk. When empaths choose themselves, they force an evolution in their social systems. Exploitative relationships naturally end, while genuine connections adapt to include respect for empathic needs. This process, though initially disruptive, ultimately creates healthier, more vibrant dynamics throughout the empath's network. As others learn that true love doesn't require one person's self-abandonment, consciousness expands. 4. Asterisk, asterisk. Consciousness evolution. Contribution. Asterisk, asterisk. Jung believed empaths learning to balance sensitivity with self-respect contribute profoundly to collective individuation, humanity's development toward conscious, authentic relationship patterns. Individuated empaths become pioneers, demonstrating that emotional depth and personal boundaries enhance, rather than threaten, genuine connection, modeling evolved human relationship possibilities for us all. What happens when the empath finally chooses themselves is nothing less than a magnificent return to wholeness. Jung's profound research reveals this choice transforms empathy from unconscious absorption into conscious compassion, from compulsive accommodation into authentic care. When empaths courageously prioritize their psychological needs, they discover that sensitivity was never the problem. The problem was a boundary absence that tragically allowed their precious gift to be exploited rather than honored. Jung's insights show that empathy without self-respect becomes enabling, while empathy with healthy boundaries becomes truly healing. The transformation isn't about becoming selfish, but about becoming whole, a complete, integrated, and vibrant human being. Empaths who choose themselves don't lose their capacity for connection. They gain the ability to connect authentically, from a place of strength and integrity, rather than through savior-victim dynamics. Your empathic nature isn't a burden requiring management, but a profound gift deserving fierce protection. Jung's work demonstrates that sensitivity, combined with self-respect, creates breathtaking possibilities for relationships based on mutual empathy, respect, and genuine connection rather than one-sided sacrifice. Choosing yourself isn't a betrayal of your empathic nature. It's an integration that allows empathy to serve healing rather than enabling, growth rather than stagnation, authentic love rather than codependent attachment. Jung concluded that individuated empaths become beacons of possibility, showing the world that deep feeling and strong boundaries can coexist, that empathy and self-care magnificently enhance each other, and that choosing yourself is often the most empathic choice possible. It is the ultimate act of love for yourself and, paradoxically, for the world. If you've finally chosen yourself after years of choosing everyone else, comment below. I honor my empathy by protecting it. Your transformation from unconscious accommodation to conscious compassion represents exactly what Jung meant by individuation, becoming precisely who you were always meant to be.